You all have, I know you have seen, heard, watched videos all about people like resin being harmful, all these different things. I swore off, honestly, we're gonna be completely 100% transparent with you guys right now. When I first started, I used resin on like 2 or 3 projects last holiday season. And when we went live with those, I'm telling y'all, people came for me. And that was really hard for me.
Yeah, well, especially at the beginning.
At the beginning of like me being on YouTube and working with Makers Gonna Learn. So
you're like, wow, I just started and I already did something.
Yeah, I swore off resin at that point.
Yeah,
was like not gonna do it again. However, after doing some research, I have, maybe jump back on, and actually what we're doing today is not really resin, but kind of gives you the resin effect.
Right, it is the same thing as resin.
One alternative that we're going to be working with is technically a resin, but it is non-toxic. It is, honestly, it's still a 2-part resin, but it's one of those things that there's not near, I will say this, the art resin that we're going to be showing you guys today, it still does have a tiny, tiny smell. Not near as bad as the amazing clear cast resin.
But it has the same smell, just not as strong.
It's like almost, you can't hardly smell it. Right. Now, the other stuff that we're going to be using doesn't have a smell at all.
Yeah, like you wouldn't know.
No smell.
If you worked with resin, you know it's smelly. There's lots of weird resin smells.
Yes, Alicia, if you do use the proper PPE, resin is safe. I completely agree with you. We do have the respirator, and if we use the other stuff, we use the nitrile gloves. The good part about this is the we do have bright tones here, but the crystal lac that we're going to be using is water-based, so you don't even have to use, like, you probably put gloves on, but
I mean, it's safe.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to.
So
should we just go ahead and jump right in and show them all the different kinds? I hear you talk about them, but I haven't actually seen each individual kind and like what the differences are. So I'm curious too.
So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. This is probably going to be a pretty short live. Probably one where we're going to answer questions. I'm actually not going to be doing a craft. I will take you through step by step how I did these and how they recommend you use these, things like that. So we will do that, but I'm not actually going to be making something on this live because with these different types, with like the crystal lac, for example, you do one coat and you have to wait for 2 hours to let it dry, and you have to do multiple coats on your tumblers for this.
Right.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Let's do it. Shayna is asking about others in the home. Is it safe for them? I mean,
I would say the crystal lac, yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want it in reach of like if you have babies and stuff, like you're going to want to be safe in that way.
Right.
But I mean, the smell, you can't smell it. I mean, there's no fragrance.
So these are the 3 tumblers that I made, and we can go overhead and show them. These are the 3 tumblers that I made with the different types. This one doesn't have anything on it yet. It's still not, I mean, it's cured, but it still needs about 12 more hours it's hardened, but I did a second coat on it yesterday evening, so it still needs a few more hours to be an official, like, full cure. So we'll talk about all 3 of these, and I'll talk about what I used for each of them. So for this one right here, this was the first one that I made for this video, and I actually was on so I used the crystal lac, the grand finale fast dry tumbler coat in the high gloss. Now this is one that I actually had to sign up for text messaging to be able to get my hands on this because I feel like it stays sold out all the time. The Crystal Lac has a store. You'll buy it online. Anyway, I am obsessed with this coating for tumblers. absolutely obsessed.
Is this, so this is just me asking, is this considered resin? Or is it
So,
just a totally different thing?
This
that
is
looks like resin?
actually an epoxy-free, water-based coating.
Okay,
So
coating.
it's technically not resin.
It's not even resin.
It's not
Right.
resin.
Okay.
So really and truly, you could use these, I feel like you could use this to seal more than just
Yeah,
a tumbler.
for sure.
Like this is something that you could use if you, I know we always have questions like, what do we use to seal this? What do we use to seal that? I feel like this is something that could be used if you are one of those types of people that wants to seal your project. This would be a good alternative to seal projects with.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it says it bonds to metal, glass, plastic, ceramic, fabric, and more.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's
And the good part about, Megan just asked a question that stumped me because
I'm Googling it, Megan, okay? Because I want to know too, because like these really are exactly like
pretty
resin.
sure it's the polymers in the resin that adhere to each other. So, and the good thing about the Crystal-Lac is it comes in different finishes. So this is a high gloss finish, which is what we have for this tumbler. I used a high gloss finish for this. The other one that I have is the flat matte, which y'all, I'm obsessed with.
Me too. I love it.
We'll go overhead. This, words are hard.
The font, the
No.
vinyl.
This vinyl that I used was a shiny vinyl. It was a glitter vinyl to begin with. So that's why it is still shiny. But this flat on this white, I'm like,
It looks good. That looks like a bridal. That's giving me
Yes,
bridal. Like
but-
the creamy color and the blue. Like I love it.
I'm in love with the flat. And I honestly didn't know if I would like it as much. So yes. Now, Christy asked, would that be a good option for kids who want to start making resin type products? So these, specifically these two products, you cannot cast in a mold.
Right.
You can't, this is just a coating. So this is not,
It's not like casting resin.
it's not like casting resin. It's not going to harden by itself in a mold. You can't put stuff in it. So this is, look, let's go overhead. Like this is, it's
can
water
tell.
based.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
can
super
tell.
liquidy.
Okay,
Okay.
listen. I got the definition for resin.
Okay.
Or it's not the definition, but it says resins are typically viscous substances that convert into rigid polymers through a curing process.
Yes.
And they're naturally occurring, but they can be made synthetically. And a lot of them are plant-based and some of them are not plant-based.
So
There you go.
that's funny because the art resin is a plant-based resin.
Okay, so that
So
actually is
that's
resin.
why this one, the art resin, is an eco-friendly 2-part resin. Now it is the one that, this is the one that I did this cup with, and we'll go overhead. You all can see. And all of these are self-leveling, which I
is
love.
nice, yeah.
The self-leveling is amazing.
Yeah.
So this is a self-leveling, the art resin. Now these are small containers because I didn't want to get big ones and then not like it.
Right.
The only thing about this is it's expensive.
And like, you paid how much for that? And it was like just that.
$30 for this.
And how many tumblers do you think you could do that size? Like 4, 3? How much have you used out of it?
Half of it.
So you could get
Which I did overestimate.
Right.
I did overestimate, okay? So with the art resin, I did overestimate when I did my first coating of this, and I think I mixed together like 100 mLs of this stuff,
So you had a lot of leftover.
which was way, way, way too much,
Yeah.
okay? So this is, this is one of those things that you kind of have to learn. Of course, I have my silicone cup that I did my measuring in for this. The second coat that I did, I mixed together 10 mLs of each, which come out to 20 mLs, and it was like a perfect solution for like doing it in layers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is, that's the thing. It's called Crystal-Lac Grand Finale. Yes. Okay. So Cassandra, here we go. We're getting there. Okay. So the Crystal-Lac company is a company. They have a lot of different They have a whole lot of different products. So I could not get my hands on the Grand Finale High Gloss at first. So I went ahead and ordered the Bright Tones. Now, Bright Tones, if I'm not mistaken, was a product that was originally intended for coating instruments. So if you look at a guitar and you, like most guitars have this really like high shine, beautiful finish to them. That's what this was originally set out for, is for like coating instruments. It is, we'll go overhead and I'll show you the consistency of this. And then, so this is a very, very thin consistency. A lot thinner than the Grand Finale. Like you can see the consistency is a lot different. This is a lot more watery than the Grand Finale. They specifically made the Grand Finale because they knew a lot of people were using the Bright Tones for tumblers. The good part about the Grand Finale is this has a 2-hour dry time as opposed to the Bright Tones with a 4-hour dry time. So you have to wait 4 hours in between each coat of the Bright Tones, and you have to do thinner layers. So for this tumbler specifically, I think I have like 10 layers so far.
Really?
On this tumbler.
Holy
So
moly.
that is the only downfall with the Grand Finale with this type of coating. It might not be 10. It might be 8.
And 2 hours in between?
And 2 hours in between.
So 16 hours worth of work, probably?
Pretty much.
It's going to be hard to price those if you're selling them.
So that is the only downfall.
I'm gathering links for each of these for you guys. I'm just going to plug them in for you. I can't find the Crystal Lac. Where did you buy it off, like a weird website? Or did you buy it off the Crystal Lac website?
I bought it off the Crystal Lac website. Is it not linked below?
I don't see them, but that's okay. I am pulling them in.
Here, I can show them on, if you give me just a second.
Yeah.
I will go here. Give me just a second.
Uno momento, por favor. 16 hours of work equals no profit. You're correct, Carol. So there's going to be positives and negative things from using alternative resins. If you're really committed to being safe, and this is the way to go, but it's going to take you a lot of time.
So this is the Crystal Lac store. If you literally go to Google and you type in Crystal Lac, the Crystal Lac store is the first one that pops up. Here you go. If you'll click shop in the drop-down menu, so you have the tumbler products. These are all tumbler products. They have different things they have glitters, they have sealers, they have paints. The Flippin' Awesome paint I have heard is great. I have not used it, but I've heard it was really good. So if you'll go to, let's just go to Tumbler products. And then your top coat, so they give you Bright Tone. They show you all of this. This is where I purchased this. Let's go on down. This is the glitter glue. I have heard the glitter glue is great too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I, once again, did not use it. I actually, with this tumbler specifically, this was kind of like a trial and error tumbler. I actually spray painted this, put my first coating of the high gloss on it, and then actually added my glitter to that high gloss.
To like the...
The Grand Finale tumbler coating. I wouldn't probably suggest that. Y'all, it's in stock. I would, if you are wanting to try it, I would definitely go get it now. And I did not use that much, I don't feel like, for this tumbler. I feel like I could get a few tumblers out of this. Yes, no, I'm not sitting there watching this for 2 hours. Like, I coat it and I go do something else.
If you've got multiple turners, you can do multiple tumblers.
Yeah,
too.
and actually after the first hour, you don't have to, once it dries, you don't have to turn it. They just want you to wait for 2 hours for a full cure.
Right.
Like, it will dry itself in an hour. But yes, you do have to use a tumbler turner for these. I had to use a tumbler turner for all of them, so you do have to use a tumbler turner. Let's see, what else was I talking about?
Well, a lot of people are asking if it's dishwasher safe, and we always say handmade equals hand wash.
Yes.
Through and through.
Yes.
I mean, you can try to, but I wouldn't trust it. I mean, it's just a tumbler. Just rinse it out and wash it with hand soap. I mean, or hand wash it with soap. I wouldn't do anything crazy.
The good thing about the grand finale, it is non-yellowing. So the only downfall that I have heard about the art resin is that it has the possibility of yellowing over time. Whereas, your regular casting resin, it's non-yellowing. So
you want me to grab that cup that I have?
Yeah, go ahead and grab that cup so we can show them. I felt like I had it in front of them. Here you go. Art resin here. Grand finale flat matte here. Grand finale high gloss here. Okay?
Oop. I got this 2 years ago when I graduated school.
So this is what I mean by yellowing. Alicia, like she said, she got this 2 years ago when she graduated school. It looks beautiful. If I didn't know, I would think that was supposed to be cream.
Right, but it was white when I got it.
This is supposed to be bright white, not cream. So that's what happens with the yellowing over time if you're not careful. Okay? Michelle, we have not talked about Hyperion. That's another brand. Actually, I was in the middle of getting all of this together, doing my research. I saw where Hyperion was another option. I've just not had, it didn't come in, like I've not gotten it to test it out, but that is something that is on my radar, has been ordered, is not in yet. Yeah, because that is another one that I have heard is really good, that has closer to the grand finale consistency, but even thicker, so that you can still, it takes less coats to cover it.
Right.
Therefore, if you were covering glitter, you don't have to do like 12 to 15 coats of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna test it. We're not done testing. This is just, we are in kind of like in the midst of it, still testing. Wanted to bring you guys what we had so far.
Yeah.
Answer any questions that you have. Can you use these on smaller projects like keychains, earrings, bookmarks, etc.? April, if you're talking about just like giving it a nice coating, like I said, the grand finale adheres to metal, glass, plastic, ceramic, fabric, and more. I mean, I'm all about trying it. Yeah. One thing I do want to tell you guys, if you are going to use the grand finale and you start with a blank tumbler, the reason that I have this sanding block out here is because you do have to sand your tumblers. I know it sounds crazy. Why would you sand a metal tumbler?
Every time I'm like, I don't want to.
I hate sanding a metal tumbler, but you do have to sand your metal tumbler because a lot of times what happens is it comes pre-coated, although it doesn't look like it's coated.
Right.
And how you can tell if it is pre-coated is if you will run it under some water. If the water beads up, it has a coating on it. If it just kind of streams off of it, it doesn't, I would still give it a good sand.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to sand your tumbler. These tumblers actually came from the Dollar Tree.
Those are my new favorite item from the Dollar Tree, like the blanks. I love the size of those tumblers.
I love the size. I do. Like I was like, wow, like, because obviously this tumbler I used a couple Saturdays ago. Like I made it for myself and I used it. And it was just a great, I don't know, it just felt great. It was
not
a good
huge.
size.
You can carry it around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Tammy, we have not tried triple thick. Francis, I've been trying to see. I was reading on their website. I'm going to say hand wash, or handmade is hand wash.
Always.
I don't always handmade, hand wash.
You guys can ask us dishwasher questions, and we're going to say that every single time.
Yeah. Every time you ask me a dishwasher question, I'm going to say handmade, hand wash.
We don't wash anything in the dishwasher here.
I don't. If I make it, I don't wash it in the dishwasher.
Right.
So anyway, give it a good, nice coating. Now, if you spray paint your tumblers before adding the crystal lac, you are going to have to let them sit for, I think I let both of these sit for no less than 48 hours. And so this is going to take some pre-planning. If you're doing this, this is going to take some pre-planning. So if you wanted to spray them on a Friday and leave them over the weekend and come back on Monday to start coating them, that would be a good rule of thumb. Because what happens is they highly suggest that if you spray paint, the fumes on the spray paint, they want them to all evaporate, all of the stuff, they want it to completely dry and cure.
Yeah.
The tumblers we got from the Dollar Tree. They were $5.
I went to the Dollar Tree this morning and they have their Christmas stuff out, and it's like they've got the $5 aisle, the $3 to $5 aisle, and their Christmas stuff's really cute. It's very cute this year.
Y'all, we about to get on some Dollar Tree Christmas stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you guys knew is if you're using the grand finale, you do have to, that did not sound good at all. You do have to sand your tumblers before adding that on.
Yep.
Okay. So do you have to wear a respirator? You do what is best for you and what you think is best. These don't have an odor. Do not have an odor.
No.
Come for me if you will. I didn't even use a glove to apply these to the tumbler. I just used my finger. It was water-based.
It makes it way smoother. It makes it way smoother.
I can feel it. I feel like I got it smoother. If you are concerned for your health and your safety, use a glove. Please use a glove. I'm just telling you what I did, because after I did a coat, I went straight to the sink and washed my hands off really well. Yes, Nicole, wear a respirator if you're working with the art resin, I would suggest, but with the Crystal-Lac, it is water-based and epoxy-free. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, this is not really we're not doing a project. It's not like super in-depth. We just wanted to bring this to you guys because we had been working on it so that you all have this option for tumblers.